Hi guys, welcome back to our read aloud. So where we left off yesterday was Rosquiro the rat, okay? So remember, he's a rat, he's supposed to like darkness, he's different than Despereaux. He found light and he was loving light and he saw a big party going on in the banquet hall and he invited himself to that party. Chapter 20, A View from the Chandelier. There was, in the banquet hall, a most beautiful, ornate chandelier. The crystals that hung from it caught the light of the candles on the table and the light from the face of the laughing princess. They danced to the rhythm of the minstrel's music, swaying back and forth, twinkling and beckoning. What better place to view all this glory, all this beauty? There was so much laughing and singing and juggling, and no one noticed Rosquiro. Crawled up the table leg onto the table, and from there flung himself onto the lowest branch of the chandelier. Hanging by one paw, he swung back and forth. Sorry, I'm not sure if you heard that because I was having technical difficulties. So, hanging by one paw, he swung back and forth, admiring the spectacle below him. The smells of food, the sound of music, and the light, amazing, unbelievable. Rosquiro smiled and shook his head. Unfortunately, a rat can only hang from a chandelier for only so long before he is discovered. This would be true even in the loudest party. Reader, do you know who it was who spotted him? You're right. The sharp-eyed Princess P. A rat, she shouted. A rat is hanging from the chandelier. The party, as I have noted, was loud. The minstrels were strumming and singing, and people were laughing and eating. The man with the jingle cap, was juggling and jingling. No one in the midst of all this merriment heard the P. No one except for Rosquiro. Rat? He had never before been aware of what an ugly word it was. Rat? In the middle of all the beauty, it immediately became clear that it was an incredibly distasteful syllable. It was an incredibly distasteful syllable. Rat. A curse, an insult, a word totally without light. And not until he heard it from the mouth of the princess did Rosquiro realize that he did not like being a rat, that he did not want to be a rat. This revelation hit Rosquiro with such force that it made him lose grip on the chandelier. The rat fell, and alas, he fell right, directly, into the queen's bowl of soup. I think we have time for one more. Chapter 21, The Queen's Last Words. The queen loved soup. She loved soup more than anything in the world except for the Princess P and the king. And because the queen loved it, soup was served in the castle for every banquet, every lunch, and every dinner. And what soup it was! Cook's love and admiration for the queen and her palate moved the broth that she concocted to the level of a mere food to an high art. On this particular day, for this particular banquet, Cook had outdone herself. The soup was a masterwork, I'm struggling, guys. A delicate mingling of chicken, watercress, and garlic. Rosquiro, as he surfaced from the bottom of the queen's capacious bowl, could not help taking in a few appreciative sips. Lovely, he said, distracted for a moment from the misery of his existence. Delightful. See, shouted the P. See? She stood. She pointed her finger right at Rosquiro. It is a rat. I told you that there was a rat hanging from the chandelier. Now it's in Mama's soup. And the musicians stopped playing their guitars. The jugglers stopped juggling. The noble people stopped eating. The queen looked at Rosquiro. Rosquiro looked at the queen. Reader, in the spirit of honesty, I must utter a difficult and unsavory truth. Rats are not beautiful creatures. They aren't even cute. They are really rather nasty beasts, particularly if one happens to appear in your bowl of soup with pieces of watercress clinging to his whiskers. There was a moment of silence, and then Rosciaro said to the queen, I beg your pardon. In response, the queen flung her spoon in the air, made an incredible noise, a noise that it was in no way worthy of a queen, a noise somewhere between a neigh of a horse and a squeal of a pig, a noise that sounded something like nink. And then she said, there is a rat in my soup. The queen was really a simple soul, and always, her whole life, had done nothing except state the overly obvious. She died as she lived. There is a rat in my soup. The last words she uttered. She clung her chest and fell backward. Her royal chair hit the floor with a thump, and the banquet hall exploded. Spoons were dropped. Chairs were flung back. Save her, thundered the king. You must save her. All the king's men ran to try to rescue the queen. Rosciaro climbed out of the bowl of soup. He felt that, under the circumstances, it would be best if he left. As he crawled across the tablecloth, he remembered the words of the prisoner in the dungeon. His regret that he did not look back at his daughter as he left her. And so Rosciaro turned. He looked back, and what he saw was the princess glaring at him. Her eyes were filled with disgust and anger. Go back to the dungeon, was what the look she gave him said. Go back to the darkness where you belong. This look, reader, it broke Rosciaro's heart. Did you think that rats do not have hearts? Wrong. All living things, have a heart. And a heart of any living thing can be broken. If the rat had not looked over his shoulder, perhaps his heart would have not broken. And it was possible then we would not have a story to tell. But reader, he did look. So I want you to think about that. Rosciaro was trying to be in the light. He was trying to go against his nature as a rat to be good. And then he accidentally kills someone? Or accidentally causes their death. I guess he didn't really kill her, but he accidentally causes their death. And then now how do you think he's going to react? Is he going to go back to the darkness, or is he going to go back to the light? We shall see.